Yeah, man, last night was crazy. I was just like, you know, I keep it peaceful. I said, I'm gonna be peaceful tonight, but it's like, dog, sometimes I'm just like, boy, I should have just started roasting her ass. But it's like, she already insecure. Like I said, man, if I would have caught her like a blue back whale or a big back butted chicken eating like, she probably would have been thinking about that shit for the rest of her life, dog. She already insecure, you know what I'm saying? She would have been thinking about that shit the rest of her life. But it's just like the nerve. I'm just like shocked how disrespectful, because like I never had a woman disrespect. I never had a person disrespect me like that. And really, I should have just left the ass on the side of the road. They will hate you when you have the body game they will never have. They will hate you when you have the confidence they will never have. And they will hate you when you have the self-love they will never have. So when you get on body game, you will start having more options, and you might start seeing more women. And I probably had my worst experience with a woman last night when it came to character. This is bottom of the barrel. Just despicable woman. Just truly disgusting when I'm thinking about it. And I decided I was going to have a peaceful night, so that's what I did. So I have a story time. This is going to be a good one. There's going to be a lot to learn from this story, so make sure to watch until the end. So how this started. This is actually the girl that was like glazing the hell out of me. She was very impressed by me. I could tell. The first time we hung out, it went good. It's cool, everything. But it was a couple things that really stood out to me. When I first started talking to her, she was very defensive. You know, I asked her, oh, where are you from? She said, you know, grew up in Atlanta. I was born in India. Then I said, oh, where in Atlanta do you live? Do your parents live? And then she was like, do you know Atlanta area? I like a little bit. She's like, if you only know it a little bit, why are you asking that then? And I said, well, you acting like you can't just say where you live in Atlanta. And then she told me, and I was like, no, I do know the area. That's like right up north of Atlanta. I'm like, right? And she didn't even know where she lived for real. I'm like, that's right. She's like, something like that. I don't know. And then when she talked about India, she like, I asked, where was she born in India? And she was like, do you know anything about India? I was like, not really. I know a little bit. You act like you can't just tell me where you lived in India. You know what I mean? And she like, well, I was from the city. I'm like, oh, so Delhi? She like, yeah. And she was like, everybody knows that. And it's just like, she was hella defensive from the jump. So I already was like putting her in that category of like, yeah, this is super short term because you're already being weird. Then she called me a bitch, and I was like, look, I get you talk like that, but don't talk to me like that. You know, and she was like, call me queen, and, you know, try to make you seem like you're a woman and all this goofy stuff. But the first time, it was a couple things where it's like, yeah, I'm not going to deal with her long term, but, you know, this might be a little fling for a short term. But then the second time I hung out with her, she came in the car, and she came in talking about some bitch again. And I was just like, after she said bitch again, I was just like, yeah, this is the last time I'm going to see her. And before I hung out with her that second time, she said something about like, oh, I'm going to drop your ego. I'm going to make you mad. It's like, it was her goal to piss me off. And I'm a very peaceful person. I'm like, you have never met a man like me. You can do whatever, and you're not going to piss me off. I promise you. You know, I'm just going to look at you like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I'm not going to get mad. If I decided I was going to have a peaceful day, that's what I'm going to do. I don't care what you do. I don't care what you say. I decided I'm going to have a peaceful day, so that's what I'm going to do. And I really want y'all to adopt that type of mindset. You can't just be swayed by everybody's words. You can't just be swayed by everybody else. Because the people that try to sway you, now I'm not telling you to stick around people that are negative and try to put you down. But it's like, if you're interested in me, why would you try to put me down? That makes no sense at all. If you're interested in me and you want to be with me, why are you trying to put me down? Because she doesn't feel good about herself. Because she doesn't feel good about her body. Because she doesn't have confidence in herself. Because she doesn't love herself. So now she sees me. I'm confident. I believe in myself. So she's trying to bring me down with her. And this is going to be how a lot of people are. Like I said many times, I lost a lot of friends once I started posting physique photos online. Because they jealous, old girls. Once I started getting more women, now all these guys that I was super cool with are starting to be weird. They're not inviting me out like they used to. They saying slick shit under their breath. And even this girl that I was with last night, it's like she was just trying to be hella disrespectful. She was just trying to make me mad. Because she's not a happy person now. She doesn't want me to be a happy person. So she came over last night. We watched a movie. We chilling. And then she started being weird. And she like, well, I got to go. I got to leave. What time is it? I was like, okay. I get up. For the record, you know, my Jimmy Dean was out. Cole Jr. just hanging out. And I'm trying to stay fairly clean. So she topped me off, you know what I'm saying? And when I got to the point where I'm like almost to the finish line, she was like, don't get it on me. And I'm just like, okay. I'm like, you don't swallow? And she's like, I don't know you like that. I was just like, okay. And so once I finished, went to the bathroom, cleaned myself up. And then after I finished, she trying to like hug on me. And she like, come on, let's lay down. I'm like, you just said you had to go. You just said you had to go and you don't know me like that. So what are we doing now? And then she like, come on, let's chill, let's lay down. I was like, no, you gotta go. I got work in the morning. Let's wrap this up. And she's like, come on, like. And at that point, I completely ignored her. Like she wasn't even there. I just pulled out my phone, started watching YouTube, put in my AirPods, and I'm chilling. I'm like, I said I was gonna have a peaceful night tonight, so that's what I'm going to do. And I could tell she was very aggravated by that. She was very bothered by that. She continued to lay down for probably like 5 minutes. I don't know. I really got into my YouTube video. And then she get up, she get ready to leave. We get in the car. I'm ready to drive her back because she didn't have a car, for the record, you know. And then I started to drive her back. And on the way back, I got to turn, and it's like the stoplight. And the stoplight was not changing. I sat at the stoplight for like 4 or 5 minutes. I'm like, damn, this thing taking forever. In my head, I'm like, God damn, can I just get her home? Like, I'm so ready to be away from this type of energy. You know what I'm saying? I don't like that negative energy. Get this demon away from me. That's how I feel. And then she says, why don't you just run it? You're black. And I'm just like, I thought it was funny because it's like, okay, now her true colors are coming out. Now her true colors are coming out. She's like, just run it. You're black. You act like you don't commit crimes. I'm like, boy, she doing anything to try to get under my skin. And it's just like, that shit doesn't bother me. She could call me the N-word with the hard ER, and I wouldn't care. Because I know what I stand for. I know who I am. And see, that's something she couldn't understand. You know? And I really should have teed off on her ass verbally, not physically. And she done told me before, yeah, like I done hit guys before and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, you need a motherfucker that's gonna goddamn pistol whip the teeth out. That's what you need. And I'm not that type of guy. Look, I'm keeping it peaceful. You know what I'm saying? But she like, you're black, like go ahead, run it. I ended up running because it was taking too long. I was just like, whatever. You know, I'm gonna run the light, bump it. But the fact that she was like, you're black, you act like you don't commit crimes, and it's just like, I'm like, I don't be committing crimes. What are you talking about? You know what I'm saying? I think it's funny. And she's like, oh yeah, because you're whitewashed. Like she's trying to say anything to like offend me. It's like, shawty, I know who I am. Like whatever comes out your mouth don't matter. Because I really should have flamed her ass. I really should have got on her ass, turn on my Indian accent, act like I'm her daddy. You know what I'm saying? I should have got on, you big back, beluga back, butter chicken eating bitch, get the fuck out of my car. I should have hit her ass with some shit like that. Call her a big back, beluga back, well, butter chicken eating bitch, you stink ass bitch. I should have said some shit like that. And I promise you, she would have went home and she would have been looking in the mirror, looking at, do I have a big back? Is my back actually big? Oh my God, do I have a big back? It's like whatever she said to me, it don't matter. Like I know I look good, I feel good. You know I done put in the work. I don't give a shit what she says to me. But I could have called her a big back, a butter chicken eating bitch, and she gonna go home and really be depressed for a couple weeks. Like she probably gonna be on a water diet for like 2-3 weeks. You know what I'm saying? So I realized she's just insecure. You know, and so I'm just like, I'm just ignoring her. I'm like, bro, she got it. I'm not seeing Shawty no more. And then right when I'm about to drop her off, she like changes her whole mood and she wants to have some deep ass conversation. And I'm like, can she just get out my car? You know what I mean? But she wants to have this deep ass conversation, and she like, yeah, you didn't want to lay up with me after you finished. And I'm like, yeah, that post nut clarity. You know what I'm saying? That post nut clarity done bring you to your senses, goddammit. But I was just like, look, you said you wasn't swallowing. You say you ain't know me like that. And then you can't even follow simple directions. I told you not to call me bitch, and that's like too difficult for you. And she like, well, I used to be that type of woman that was really down, but my ex this. And I'm like, well, baby, I'm not your ex. I'm not your ex, but I'm gonna be real with you. Just off the fact that you keep calling me a bitch, I don't want to be around you. Like, we have two completely different standards. You have a low standard, and that's not good enough for me. You know, and I told her, I said, you keep talking about how guys don't get serious, how you have these guys that you were talking to or dating and they leave you, and you think it's because you don't have the prettiest nails, you think it's because you don't wear eyelashes and stuff like that. It has nothing to do with that. It has all to do with your attitude. It has all to do with the way you act. You over here calling me a bitch, and I told her, I said, the only man that would still talk to you after you done called him a bitch and he said, don't call me that, that's a weak man. That's not a good leader. And she's like, oh, well, who said I'm looking for a leader? I said, that's the problem right there. That's the problem right there. But she thinks the issue is, oh, it's her looks. I'm like, it has nothing to do with your looks. It's your attitude. It's your mouth. I don't want to be around that. I don't care what you look like. She's not a bad looking girl, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I don't care what you look like if you can't follow simple directions. And this is what I want you brothers to know. Even when you get on body game, you start to attract more women. Don't deal with those women that try to pull you down. Don't deal with the women that are negative. Don't deal with friends that are negative. And when you start to bring your mental health up and bring your physical health up, you change your friends sometimes. Because sometimes you can't bring people up. You can bring yourself up, but sometimes you can't bring your friends up. And I promise you, when people aren't on the same level as you, a lot of times that's when they're going to hate you. Shawty knows she's not on my level at all. That's why she was glazing me so hard the first time. You know, she was talking about, oh, I seen your video on Instagram when you doing weighted pull-ups. But then you try to disrespect me and downgrade me because you're insecure. And she told me, like, I'm just insecure. That's why I be acting like that. I said, I know. I said, Shawty, I know. And that's cool. I'm glad you have the awareness. I'm glad you have the self-awareness. But that really doesn't matter. Because at the end of the day, I feel like I'm just wasting my time talking to you. You know what I mean? And that's what I really want you guys to know. Like, I done said this many times. You know, body game is cool. And I think body game is one of the most important things. Some guys say it's just a cherry on top. But I'm saying your health is extremely important. But if you don't know how to choose the right woman, all the other shit doesn't matter. And see, a lot of guys, they will see this girl, be attracted to her, and keep trying to see her. But I'm saying you have to have standards. And I don't care if it's my mother, my brother. I done had the same situation with my brother. He would call me a bitch, and he'd be like, why you getting so mad about it? I'm like, I'm not mad, but I'm not going to talk to you if you don't know how to address me with some respect. Because I'm not mad at all. It's not getting under my skin at all, but I see how you move. You don't have any standards. And I don't want to hang around with you because if you don't have any standards, you're going to bring my standards down. I think highly of myself. So I only want to be around people that think highly of me. I don't want to be around people that calling me a bitch and joking around all the time. And I'm not saying you can't joke around, you can't clown around sometimes. But this girl, her goal was to try to piss me off. I remember when she came into my in my room yesterday, she going into my closet and stuff, and it's like, do you not have any respect? Who do you think you are? And that's what I'm saying. I hope she goes around and dates in this area, because she can find some YNs in this area that will smack the shit out of her. I promise you. She gonna find it. Yeah, she gonna find it, because she like pushing like, oh, you're whitewashed. And see, this how I knew she was like very, very racist. You know, she likes black men, but she still has this hatred towards them. And I remember the first time I talked to her, she was like, oh, you're whitewashed. And I'm like, how do I sound like a white guy at all? You know, how do I sound like a white guy at all? Because I don't use all the slang. You know, because I can talk proper at times. And I feel like I don't even talk all that proper. You know what I'm saying? I have my moments where I try to clean it up a little bit, but I don't even talk that proper. But she's like, oh, you're whitewashed. That's one of the first things she said. Like, just trying to throw insults at me. You know, I don't know. It was just funny to me, dog. It was just funny to me, because I told this girl, I'm like, I'm different from any guy you ever met. Like, you're not going to get under my skin. And even when she was like, when I was telling her, like, let's go, and she's like, 5 minutes. I'm like, come on, let's go. She's like, 5 minutes. Like, part of me would wanted to be like, bitch, you got 10 seconds. You know what I'm saying? You got 10 seconds before I throw you out this apartment, or the cops throw you out. Like, part of me really felt like saying that, but I was just like, look, I'm having a chill night. She gonna get tired of waiting. It is what it is. I'm never gonna see her again. You know, and she tried to have this deep ass conversation at the end. Like, nah, I'm done with you. You don't have no goddamn respect for anybody. The fact you would like come to a stranger's place and be calling him a bitch, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, Shawty deserve an ass whooping. I'm be honest about it. Like, a lot of these women have got too far from reality. Yeah, man, but after the first time, I should have already knew. You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, I done been around girls before. I done cut girls off for that before. Like, they're like, oh, I call everybody a bitch. I'm like, you call your dad a bitch? No. All right, then don't call me that. You know what I'm saying? Do you call your mom and dad a bitch? No, but I call them my friends. Well, I'm not your friend. You know what I'm saying? And if she can't follow simple instructions like that, don't even be around her, dog. But I promise you, when you get your shit together, when you really shining, like, you gonna make people feel insecure. They gonna hate on you. They gonna feel some type of way. And I done told y'all stories about my my past roommates. Oh, why you always got your shirt off? Why you got these shorts on? You know, oh, Cole's a hoe, Cole's a, you know what I mean? They trying to throw all these little slick shots at you. But if you feel good about yourself, if you love yourself, that's all that matters, man. And you just gotta surround yourself with people that love themselves and they care about themselves. You know, cause it's just like, I don't know, that shit's crazy to me, dog. That a woman would have had a nerve to be so disrespectful. And I done dated quite a bit, but like, I never had a woman that disrespectful. Like, even in the past when I had a woman call me a bitch, she like, oh, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to say that. This girl like, bitch, like, and then she'll look me dead in my face. I'm like, I'll just slap the shit out of you. You know, that's what I'd be thinking about. I'm like, I'm not finna catch no case for this. I'm not finna catch no case for this butter chicken bitch, though. And I don't even have no issue with the racist jokes or nothing. But it's just like, when she, oh, you're black. It's like, at least make the shit funny, dog. You know what I'm saying? You just being racist and this shit not even funny. Oh, you commit crime, you're black. All right, shawty. Yo ass. Like, I was damn near embarrassed for her. You know what I'm saying? Like, your ass is so lame. I'm almost embarrassed for you that you being so disrespectful. But I said, I hope, boy, she gonna run into the wrong YN and he gonna put her in her place. Maybe she'll love that shit. I don't know. Maybe she just need to get pistol whipped one time and she gonna fall in love with that dude. Maybe, like, some women, they need that in their life. You know? That's something people don't talk about, but some of these women, they prefer the guy to kick their ass. And I'm against that. You know, I don't encourage any of you guys to hit women or anything like that, but I'm saying some of these women, they look for that. It might sound fucked up, but some of these women, they grew up in abusive households and they look for that in a partner. It sounds screwed up, but that's what it is. Oh, I've been with him for this many years, and some of these chicks be abusive. She told me she had a dude. And that makes me think of, like, how different some of these women are, dog. And she very much a city girl. I hope there's not a representation of girls in Atlanta, because I'm gonna be hella disappointed. I don't need to go to Atlanta if she's a representation of girls from Atlanta. But the most peaceful girl I met, throat game was insane. Like, nobody is on her level at all. White girl from Pennsylvania. And she was average at best. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. She was average at best. Probably one of the most, probably bottom of the barrel when it comes to looks wise of the girls I've been with. But dog, I remember I asked her, I said, have you ever argued with your ex? She's like, no, I never raised my voice at a man. I said, you ever got in like any type of physical altercation with a dude? She's like, no, I would never hit a man. She's like, no, like, why are you asking me? Like, she looking at me crazy for asking this. And I remember, dog, she gave me the best dome of my life. And the next day she had breakfast ready. You know what I'm saying? Just breakfast ready. And this is what I don't push the hookup culture, but at the same time, I feel like some experience can be good, man, because if I had no experience with women at all, then you might accept some of the bullshit, the disrespect and stuff like that. But it's like, when I have more experience dating, I can reflect on, like, I remember when Shawty from Pennsylvania was giving me the best dome of my life, and she was sweet, and she was respectful, and she made me breakfast. Why would I deal with this old, you know what I'm saying? This Indian girl that's hella disrespectful, racist, and she thinks she, like, I don't know what it is, dog. A lot of these chicks in college, they think they're so smart because they about to get the degree. It's like, that degree doesn't mean shit to me. That degree doesn't mean shit to me because you still don't have no street smarts. You talking crazy to a complete stranger. I don't care what degree you got. Because if you don't know how to talk to a stranger, you're going to get in trouble eventually. I promise you going to run into the wrong YN and he going to bust your shit. He going to bust your shit. I promise you. And then you really going to hate black people. then you really gonna hate black people then. Cause you gonna come across the wrong one, I promise you. But dog, so it's like I done had experience, or even mac and cheese girl. Like when I deal with girls that treat me very well, sometimes there's girls on the opposite end because they jealous, they're insecure, they don't feel good about themselves, and they don't want you to feel good about yourself. They're going to try to tear you down. Find you a woman that can appreciate the work you put in. Find you a woman that can respect you for the man you are, and she can get on board with your plans and your goals. Because this type of woman that I seen last night, if you had goals and you have ambition, she's going to be trying to tear you down all the time. She's going to be trying to compete with you all the time. Find a woman that supports you. Find a woman that believes in you. So when you have that self-doubt creep up on you every now and then, she back there to say, nah, you that guy. You that guy. Not the girl that's always like questioning everything. She always trying you on everything, dog. But yeah, man, last night was crazy. I was just like, I keep it peaceful. I said, I'm gonna be peaceful tonight. But it's like, dog, sometimes I'm just like, boy, I should have just started roasting her ass. But it's like she already insecure. Like I said, man, if I would have called her like a beluga back whale or a big back buttered chicken eating bitch, like she probably would have been thinking about that shit for the rest of her life, dog. She already insecure, you know what I'm saying? She would have been thinking about that shit the rest of her life. But it's just like the nerve. I'm just like shocked how disrespectful. Cause like I never had a woman disrespect. I never had a person disrespect me like that. And really, I should have just left her ass on the side of the road. But look at that. I should have left her ass on the side of the road, being honest about it. But it's just like I was trying to be cool. I was trying to be chill about it. Cause sometimes, you got to be careful with women like this. Because let's say I would have left her on the side of the road, and now she's making up stories that, oh, he took advantage of me, or you know what I'm saying? That's why I always try to end it on good terms. Like even a girl I seen 4 times, and then she was like, oh, I'm not ready. You haven't taken me on a dinner date. Like I ended that stuff peacefully. I'm like, look, I enjoyed our time together. We went on good dates, because she tried to hit me up trying to hang out again. I like, look, I enjoyed our dates. You're cool. Conversation was cool. But I don't think we should keep seeing each other. I don't like to be in that gray area when I'm dealing with women. She said, okay, it was cool getting to know you. And then that's it. I would try to end shit on good terms, because you never know, man. And it's good to have those text messages where it shows that you guys are on good terms, because you never know if you dealing with the wrong woman and you like just spaz on her ass. I call her big back and tell her, get your big back butter chicken eating ass out my car, bitch. Then I push her out and slam the door. Now she trying to press charges on me. Now I took advantage of her and all this other shit, man. You know what I'm saying? So that's why you gotta be careful with that shit. That's why I move the way I do. Very peaceful, very calm. But and Shawty wanted to get under my skin. I'm not that type of guy, Shawty. You don't have no control over me. You can't say anything. You can't say anything. You can't do anything to really piss me off. I was just thinking, once you acting like this, I'm like, boy, this gonna be a good ass story time tomorrow. Like, that's all I'm thinking about. We think about production, baby. I ain't worried about your goofy ass. But that's all I got for y'all today, man. When you get on Body Game, when you start to love yourself, when you start to believe in yourself, people are going to feel some type of way about it. But you can't worry about that. Surround yourself with the people that love you and care about you, and they want the best for you. And sometimes you think somebody wants the best for you. Sometimes they're going to come in with the compliments. Shawty came in glazing the hell out of me, and then the next time I see her, boom, she like the complete opposite. The biggest hater I done seen in my life. So just be aware of that, man. But that's all I got for y'all today. Make sure to like the video, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll catch y'all boys in the next one.